Okay, so the last time I did something like this was when I lost a 5-hour commentary file and didn't want to replay an entire dungeon in my Final Fantasy XII playthrough. This time, I just thought doing a bunch of the same old world intel quests for 3 to 4 episodes would make for really boring content on this playthrough. So to remedy that, I'll just walk you guys through anything interesting that actually happened during the session. If we're being transparent here, I didn't record any commentary when I played through this part because I fully intended to do something like this. Also, I know I mentioned in the last episode that I wasn't going to do any of the world intel quests anymore since I felt it would interrupt the flow of the story within the playthrough, but I guess dedicating one whole filler video for the world intel quests was a decent compromise. And this way, I can have some fun with it. Anyway, let's get started, go! If you didn't already catch my style, the way I go about these things is I tend to go for the towers first. Every now and again, I do stop for a spring and a divine intel if I happen to come across one along the way to a tower, but generally, I don't do any of the other intel reports until I fully activate all the Remnant Wave towers in a region. You know, it's amazing that I can still remember that they're called Remnant Wave towers since these world intel quests have become such a chore for the last 50 hours? Holy shit, this game is long if you have no self-control and are obsessed with trying to complete every little detail of the game because there's a non-zero chance that you might get a super rare item or the fear that you might accidentally avoid a missable one that won't exactly change the outcome of the game but will piss you off nonetheless just because you missed it, forcing you to replay a certain part of the game which pisses you off even more because now you know moving forward the progress you made beforehand had become completely useless. And the progress you're making now doesn't feel right or organic because you're experiencing everything for the second time and it doesn't feel the same as when you experienced it before. I need help. So the first Remnant Wave tower I go to is the odd one out in the middle of the ocean. I'm met with the same Disgorgon monster that Sephiroth shish kebabbed in the first chapter of the game. They weren't exactly hard, but just annoying because you have to wait for them to use a certain attack before you can pressure them. Anyway, activating the tower revealed a couple more world intel objectives in the surrounding islands. I know, I'm being hypocritical here by going for these objectives first when I clearly said that I do the towers before anything else. And the next closest tower is literally just right across the water. I had to make an exception here since at the time it seemed like these were the only objectives not attached to the mainland, and I thought that if I was gonna be spending most of my time in the mainland anyway, I might as well complete these 3 objectives here since I was pretty close to them already. So I scanned a life spring which revealed the location of an excavation site next door, went there and found a couple of armor upgrade chips and an expeditionary medal. After that, I went for the nearby Fiend intel objective where I found a buffed up Disgorgon. I had the standard objectives here, pressure, stagger, and then kill him within the time limit. He still has that annoying gimmick where you had to wait for him to use a specific move before you can get the chance to pressure him, but he wasn't exactly hard to beat. The gimmick just made it needlessly more difficult to beat him within the time limit. It took him out in 2 tries, but with barely any scratches. Before heading toward my next objective, I stopped by a bench on the beach because it looked lonely. Anyway, it took me a while to find this divine intel objective just because you had to go down into this cave and then pop out a different side, messed with my failing sense of direction. Anyway, we get our first look at Odin, and he really doesn't look that strong. But we'll get to him later. Next, I went straight to the Remnant Wave tower that I skipped, which apparently was the last one on the map. I had to fight a pack of wolves to clear the tower, but then I saw a bird and thought it looked stupid, and then it tried to eat me. I won though. Activating the final tower revealed the remaining world intel objective locations, not including the other proto-relic spots since they only appear after completing the one before it. I slowly tackled each one by one. The Fiend intels were practically a cakewalk. The objectives weren't too hard to complete during each battle. Then I scanned the remaining Onin shrines. He still looked weak as hell, but we'll get to him later. I found the remaining life springs on the map. This life spring in particular took a lot longer than it needs to find, but whatever, I found the remaining 2. So with that done, now all that's left to do is to finish the proto. Oh right, I forgot about the Moogles. Hang on, let me just...
You're gonna love it!
Kupo? Kupo! Kupo!
I don't... Okay, with that out of the way, we can finally do the proto-relic. Alright, the big bad monster of the region. Okay, so we had to fight a Megazoo. I primarily used Yuffie for this fight so I could avoid the fire prison and then strike from range, but the main gimmick to beating him quickly was to take out his wings while he used Swan Song. Doing so with Tifa and Cloud allowed us to pressure him. He went down with little to no problem. And I'm being serious this time. Okay, so finally we get to do the proto-relic section of the game, right?
Yes.
No more distractions.
No. Sorry.
Okay, Proto Relic. If there isn't some dumb minigame tied to this, then this should be a breeze. Oh, come on! Yeah, well, there isn't any minigame tied to it, but that doesn't make it any better. I swear, it feels like the devs really wanted these Proto Relic objectives to take forever. Alright, so how long are these Proto Relic quests gonna take? Yes. No, I meant how long. Yes. No, I don't think you hear me. How long? Yes. Yes? Yes. 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 Okay. Anyway, after painstakingly shoving these black robes toward their destination, once we finally get there, they obviously get themselves killed. And then we fight a bunch of monsters. Again, none of this is really difficult, just extremely time consuming. It wasn't all gameplay though. During the third Proto Relic mission, we see our favorite professor. Yeah, exactly what this tedious side quest needs. An asshole. Anyway, he has a newfound fascination with Chadley, which is probably setting up something big for the Chadley quests in the next game. The big bad changes into a one-eye type monster who was a little challenging, but Yuffie could solo it no problem. Beating him then reveals an incredibly expected twist.
Did they multiply?
Broden?
Yeah, Broden, that innkeeper from Com who said he was a former soldier and all the side quests where he was mentioned had some subtle indication that he was experiencing soldier degradation. That Broden. Seriously though, that payoff was pretty well done. Although I would have preferred it tied to the main quest storyline since Broden was a part of the main quest in the early parts of the game, but I'm probably grasping for straws here. Anyway, for the last Proto Relic quest, the Black Robes decide to go for a swim. Something for sure they're probably used to by now. Seriously, I still have no idea how they came from the Cosmo Canyon. Anyway, they were heading toward that rock formation with a boss arena at the top, and of course, our opponent is the eccentric swordsman himself, Gilgamesh. This fight was actually pretty fun, and not because of the fight itself, but because of the battle theme. If you guys didn't catch it, they're playing an updated version of the battle on the bridge from Final Fantasy V, one of the best Final Fantasy tracks ever made. Oh my god. Not gonna lie, I didn't quite catch it in the moment, but when reviewing the footage, the theme can clearly be heard. Also, if you're wondering why this is the case, it's because Gilgamesh makes his Final Fantasy debut in FF5, and this is the theme that plays when you fight him. Anyway, the fight ends with Gilgamesh poofing away into some whispers.
The curtain has fallen, and I depart the stage.
And with that done, we have completed every single world intel objective in the Nibel region, and we can finally move on with the story. Or so I thought. Remember this guy? Well, let's get him. The first fight goes extremely well. In fact, I get so close to killing him, but unfortunately I get a little too excited and he wipes me out with a sliver of his health left. Careless, I know, but it's looking good. I'm upbeat and I'm feeling really good about this fight. Turns out he really was as weak as he looked. Yo, I spent 2 hours fighting this dude, and he kills me in the first 2 minutes of each fight. He never used that ultimate move in my first fight, but in the next 40 fights, he manages to use Zentetskin each and every fucking time. Oh my god. This also isn't the only set of attempts where I try to fight this dude. A little bit of a behind the scenes spoiler, but I actually had to replay the whole Nibelheim section again to manipulate some of the variables for the affection ratings, and during that run, I again attempted to beat Odin, but had an even worse experience. I'm sorry guys, but I'm gonna have to leave the Odin fighting for the post game. I will get back to him, I promise, but I'm going crazy over here trying to kill this thing. The Nibel region really had the least amount of stuff to do, which I completed in less than 2 hours. Not much to talk about other than the setup for Chadley's futures, so expect some kind of tedious objective-driven side quest in the third game. Anyway, that's the end of the session, and we'll continue in the next episode. I've been talking non-stop for a while, so I should let y'all go now. One last thing before I end, I am going to be taking a break from the uploads for about a week, so expect the next episode exactly 1 week, exactly 7 days from the upload date of this video. So I'll see you then. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.